What if I told you the difference between your success and failure might be closer than you've ever realized? And what if I told you that it can be found in a 7-letter word that I developed that works even when your motivation has gone bye-bye? I've spent my entire life since I was 6 years old watching what separates those who succeed from those who don't. And it all comes down to one thing. Winners have a system that works even when motivation fails. I have a system for my own life that I call the progress framework. It's a step-by-step method designed to help you push through resistance, build consistency, and finally achieve the goals that you've struggled with. This isn't theory, this is the exact system that I use, and the principles have been proven to help numerous people break through their barriers. We've all been there, supercharged at the start, full of excitement, and then week by week the motivation starts to fade. You tell yourself that you're just taking a break, but deep down you know that you're already starting to quit. But here's the thing, that moment right before you give up, that's where the real growth happens, and that's where champions are made. Now I'm about to share something that'll change the game for you. It's called the progress framework, and it's 7 powerful strategies that will keep you on track even when things get tough. These are the exact tools that I've used to stay consistent even when my motivation has gone on vacation. And if you're ready to turn things around, let's dive in. I used to think that I just needed more willpower, but willpower runs out fast. What helped me was changing my surroundings to make success the easiest option. The first P is to prepare your environment. I used to think that I just needed more willpower, but willpower runs out fast. What I needed to do was change my surroundings to make success be the easiest option. That meant for me, I had to set things up in advance. I had to put my workout clothes and my shoes right there in the bathroom, ready to go when I woke up in the morning, and have my cell phone already charged, and I just had to have everything ready to go. These tiny little changes made a major difference for me. The truth is, willpower is like a battery that drains throughout the day. Research shows that we make about 35,000 decisions each day, and each one of them uses a little bit of our mental energy. By the evening, our decision quality drops dramatically. When you set everything up ahead of time, you bypass this limitation by making good choices be the path of least resistance. Let me share some practical strategies. First, try the 20-second rule. You want to make your good habits be 20 seconds easier to start, and your bad habits be 20 seconds harder to start. And what I mean by that is have everything ready to go. Have your water, your keys, your hat, anything ready to go that's not going to get in your way. You want to make this process be as frictionless as possible. This leads us to our next letter, R, which stands for restrict yourself to just 15 minutes. When I really don't feel like doing something, I tell myself, just do 15 minutes of it. That little trick stops the overthinking, and most of the time, once I start, I keep going. The hardest part is just beginning, so I take away the pressure, and sometimes it might just be even for 5 minutes. The 15-minute rule works because it overcomes the brain's resistance to starting. Our minds often exaggerate how difficult or unpleasant a task can be. By promising ourselves a tiny commitment like this, we bypass the mental barrier, and this momentum naturally encourages us to continue. After playing 18 years of football, sometimes my body just hurts, and I know for me, pain is usually my excuse. I know if I can just get started and go for 15 minutes, I'll get warmed up and the endorphins will kick in, and then I'm going to end up going a lot longer. On really bad days, 15 minutes is all I've got, but I know that 15 minutes is better than 0, which will lead to another 0, and then soon I'll probably just have quit altogether. There's other small start strategies that might work even better for you. Instead of focusing on time, you might try the one item approach. Commit to completing just one small part of the task, like I'll just write one paragraph, or I'll just organize my one desk drawer. I know if I just do one small thing like hang up my clothes, then it's going to make me go on and make my bed, and then it's going to do the other surrounding areas, and then I'm going to eventually have my whole room clean. If there's a habit that feels really challenging, try the smaller than small method. Make your starting commitment ridiculously tiny. So small that it feels almost silly to not do it. I know for me, there's been mornings where I said, just put on my shoes, or just get in the shower. Or if it's a paper that I don't want to write, just open the document. These little things seem trivial, but you'll be surprised at how much they'll actually keep you going. One thing I like to do at work is I do the beat the clock method, where I set a timer for 15 minutes and I see how much I can get done before that timer buzzes. Remember, the goal here isn't to do the minimum, it's just to overcome that starting barrier. Next we have O, observe the consistency, not the results, and this one is very important. You want to track your daily habits, not just the outcomes. You want to build streaks that you're proud to maintain. The real win here is just showing up day after day. And pay attention to when you struggle the most. This awareness helps you improve. When we look at only the outcomes, we get discouraged way too easily. It's like trying to lose weight and you're weighing yourself multiple times a day on the scale. And you might eat perfectly for 3 days and you see no change on that scale and you end up giving up. And what you missed out on was that your body was actually changing in ways that the scale couldn't show yet. So how do you track your consistency instead? Focus on the process. Instead of obsessing over losing 20 pounds, Track the days that you stayed committed to your calorie goal, or the days that you walked 8,000 steps. These are the things that you can control directly, unlike your weight fluctuations. Pay attention to your patterns. When do you struggle the most? I know for me, for example, for working out, if I worked out in the evenings, I was a lot more likely to miss than if I did in the mornings. So I permanently switched my exercise time. Remember, consistency beats intensity. 5 minutes daily is going to beat 5 hours once a month. The person who shows up imperfectly but regularly is always going to outperform the person that's a sporadic perfectionist. So make sure you're just consistently putting in the reps. If I'm starting to vibe with you, will you hit that like button, smash subscribe, and drop a comment below? Just know this, every like, share, and sub, it means the world to me. And it helps us get our message out there to more and more people. So if I add any value to you, will you consider subscribing? Now let's dive into the next letter. G, generate more rewards. Create a system of rewards and accountability that actually works for you. Most people get this all wrong. They either don't reward themselves at all, or the rewards totally undermine their goals. If you give yourself the right rewards, you can dramatically increase your habit formation success. But timing is everything. Your rewards need to be immediate, and they need to be directly tied to the behavior. And you also want to create milestone rewards for reaching your big targets, like maybe buying some new workout clothes after you've been to the gym 20 times. The key is making rewards be proportional and also making them not sabotage your success. Like if you reward a good week of healthy eating with an entire pizza, that just totally defeats the purpose. Pair something you need to do with something you want to do. Like go ahead and watch your favorite shows while you're on the treadmill. This creates a positive association for something that you normally don't like to do. And remember, the right reward system isn't about bribing yourself. It's about creating positive feedback loops that make good behaviors more attractive than the bad ones. Let's go to the next letter, R. Redefine your identity. Most people approach habit change all wrong. They focus on what they want to achieve, not what they want to become. What they say is, I want to lose weight, instead of what they should say is, I want to be somebody who prioritizes my health. This difference might seem small, but it's everything. When you tie a habit to your identity, it becomes part of how you see yourself rather than just an item on your to-do list. And the question shifts from what should I do to who am I becoming? So start with some identity affirmations that focus on who you're becoming, not what you're achieving. For me, instead of saying I should go to the gym, I just had to start saying I'm a weightlifter. Remember, your habits are not just what you do, they're expressions of who you believe you are. If you change that belief, the actions will just naturally flow from it. That brings us to E, eliminate decisions. When it comes to habits, decision fatigue is your worst enemy. Every decision you have to make drains your mental energy and increases the likelihood that you're going to take the easy way out. So what's the solution? You want to eliminate as many decisions as possible by planning ahead. Again, for me, I know that I've planned ahead that I'm going to work out in the morning and I've got my shoes ready. Everything's ready to go. Meal planning is a big one. Get everything ready on Sunday so that you don't have to decide what you're going to eat all week long. It's just ready. And I'm not talking about all of your meals, maybe just your lunches every day. And remember, your willpower is a finite resource. Every decision that you eliminate through planning and routines is energy that you're going to save to be able to use for the decisions that you truly need to make. Which leads us to S, share your journey. When you keep your goals and habits private, it's easy to let yourself off the hook. There's actually research that shows that when you make a public commitment, you increase your chances of success by up to 65%. There's a way to effectively share your journey, and what you need to do is find an accountability circle with the people that are going to hold you to your commitments with the right balance of support and challenge. This could be a coach, a group, or just a friend who checks in regularly with you. Now, I talk about share your journey. Another thing that I don't like to do, though, is share your goals ahead of time. And I have another video coming out exactly why you don't want to do that. But if you've started and you're making progress, have somebody help hold you accountable. Remember, sharing your journey isn't about seeking validation or proving yourself to others. It's about using the power of a community to help elevate your own experience and potentially inspire other people along the way. And now we're down to the last S, which is just stick with it. Let's be real. Sometimes habit change is just hard. There'll be days when all the tricks and systems in the world are not going to make it any easier. Those are the moments that separate those who achieve lasting change from those who just don't. Mental toughness isn't about being perfect. It's about continuing when things get difficult. It's about the quiet voice inside that says not today when every excuse presents itself. You want to develop your strategy in advance. You don't want to wait until that moment of temptation or resistance to figure out how you're going to respond. Another thing you want to do is maintain a hard day minimum. This is the absolute floor of your habit that you're going to commit to even on your worst days. And remember, consistency isn't about perfect performance. It's about persisting through imperfect conditions. The path to mastery is paved with difficult days when you showed up anyways. Look, I'm not here to sell you some fairy tale. The framework isn't magic, it's just a system. And a system beats motivation every single time. When you apply the progress framework consistently, you're not just working towards your goal, you're rewiring your brain to make discipline become your default setting. And here's what happens when you stick with it. The first week, it's brutal. The second week, it's still tough, but you're starting to see small wins. By week 3, you're starting to feel a shift. What once felt impossible is now manageable. And somewhere around week 6, something incredible begins to happen. You don't have to force yourself anymore. The actions that used to drain your willpower now feel just natural. The gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't about your ability, it's just about your consistency. And consistency isn't about perfection. It's about getting back up one more time than you fall. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one area where you've been stuck and apply that progress framework for just 1 week. Then do it for one more. And at the end of 2 weeks, you'll start making small adjustments and refining the system, and you'll start seeing how repeatable this really is. You don't have to be perfect, just be consistent and watch what happens. And listen, here's what I want you to understand more than anything else. The person you become in the process is even more valuable than the goal itself. That version of you that you want, it's already there, it's just waiting for you to prove it to yourself. So this might be why success has felt out of reach. It wasn't you, it was that you didn't have a system. Motivation fades and your willpower is going to drain, but a solid framework, that's what carries you through. You now have a blueprint of how to generate the right rewards, redefine your identity, eliminate decisions, and push through when things get tough. But there's one more piece in this puzzle that I haven't talked about yet. It's a hidden force in your brain that dictates whether you stay consistent or fall off track. And it's shaping your habits right now, whether you realize it or not. And the best part is you don't need more willpower or motivation to use it. If you want to unlock this hidden advantage and make discipline just feel automatic, watch this next video. Trust me, what's coming next could make your life and your goals and your motivation so much easier. So click this video and make sure you subscribe.